Hello, it's Elena Strombo from SotoTutorials.com. Elena is my in-game name, and today is a little bit of a special video. I'm revisiting some of the housing stuff, and I want to do a little bit of a quick kind of run through on housings and stuff about it. Part of this is that I've got another property I put down in Aldwater, which is just beside Arteris. This is actually the first town I ever lived in, so I just know this town. I have a place anywhere, a row lot deed, and I wanted to put it down here. It's been sitting in my desk bank and not being of use, so I'm giving out a little help to a friend. If you haven't seen him, it's over there on Twitch. It goes under Eric of Weird. It's Eric _ Weird. He plays Soda amongst other games. He's definitely a streamer that's out there. So he's been newer in the game, getting himself going, and at some point wants to get into housing. I've got a housing deed. It's pretty much not sitting there not doing much. So basically, I'm like, if you want to pay taxes, then here's a house I can place out here and make him co-owner. I still own the deed in the house, but he can live in it, and it doesn't cost me anything as long as he's covering taxes. But housings are a little bit more involved. So I want to give a little bit of a tutorial video, benefit everybody else, benefit him directly as well. So I said I am in the town of Aldwater, and let me bring up the Soda map here and get rid of my friends list. I forgot what town they call this. So when you come into Aldwater, you actually come in from this exit up here. There's an exit right here. Basically, you come down, you come to the left, you come down this path. You want to stay in the main path all the way down till you hit the brick road here. And then you can go this way, head over this direction, and this is basically the town square, which is where I'm at. So this is the town square. There is a public crier over here and a public vendor. This town isn't as popular as it was before. There was, I think, a lot more inhabitants, so it's a lot low key here. It's just fine. Just need a place to put a house around Soul Town area Eric's usually at. So I put a house here, but it's got its stuff here in the town square. It's got a bank. It's got a couple of vendor shops, NPC stuff like your blacksmithy and stuff, practice target. It's got a crafting area over here, like all towns do. So you can go in there, you get your crafting trainer and your crafting merchant. Let's see, lots of chickens, lots of sheep. So need animals, meat and stuff for it there. Got stuff you can forage. There are some people living still around this main area of town and some on the outskirts there. But it's pretty low key, low traffic. So just a place to call home. So if this banking vendor right here in the town, if you go behind it, Eric, this first set of row house here, I actually put it on this first row house right here. So you are actually there. You will, you'll see this. If I bring up the sign because I have full rights because I own it, I can actually control the manage the lot access. And in here, you can give any player access you want to do stuff. Definitely don't because it's your house on there. But I basically added him in as typed in his name, hit enter. It appears up here. Then I can actually click on his name and actually. If I do this here, I'm going to lower his permissions. So when I first entered him in, I typed in his name. He can end up as a guest. Then I can sit there and say raise permissions. He's now a co-owner. A co-owner basically can do almost anything with a house as well. They can go ahead and put things, take things, put things down, pick things up. They basically do everything that the owner can. The only thing they really can't do is they can't like pick up the deed and leave. The owner can do that. So that's the kind of a trade-off on that. You can have guests like have access. You can set crates and stuff to have different permissions. But from a housing standpoint, if this is just your house living, you really pretty much aren't going to get involved with that. So don't worry too much about that. So you can lock the doors. So only people that are on this list or have access can get into the house. You can leave it unlocked. I typically leave mine unlocked because people can come through and take a look. I never have to deal with that. If you're in a guild, you can make it a guild house. Big thing on that one is that it makes everybody who's in your guild a certain level, so a kindred. So you can put a chest out like for the guild, make it at a certain level that everybody can access and stuff. But as I said, for new people, not too much to work with it. Let me do this too. I've actually claimed this lot. I'm going to actually unclaim it, mine, and kind of walk through that process of how I did that. So first thing, you can tell if you're trying to see in towns like which one what lots are free. If you hold down the P key, the lots that have the white streamers are the ones that are open. See, this one in the middle doesn't. So someone actually does live here. This one on the end and this one on the other side of them does. So if I wanted to claim this, this tree is driving me nuts. Let me go get around this side. If I want to claim it, I can basically double click that and claim it. I'm going to claim it. So it brings up the property, the lots deed menu. I call it the property menu. So basically the lot deeds, all your deeds, things you have on you or things you've used. And you can tell I've got a couple. So I have a townhome in Bay Lumiere where I live. I actually have one called my OH Supermart. That's Owl's Head Supermart. It's kind of my vendor house inside of Owl's Head. And then I have this row lot deed that's in my inventory. So I can actually select this one and say, hey, I want to claim that lot. And by selecting this as a claim, this deed requires you paying taxes. This lot will require a tax payment of 500 gold per day. You can pay taxes using the interface. Okay. So I'm going to claim it. You sure you want to claim this? Yes. Okay. So you've successfully claimed it. If you'd like to change the house type, you can do that in the menu. So this row houses all come with a default. If we look at it here, this is basically a one-story. It's got one story, two-story. Little bit of a row house. It doesn't go all the way back. It goes from the front here to this point, and there's a row house right behind it. I mean, so they're economical. There's the smallest one at 500 gold piece a day. They're also the least expensive of them all. So being the smallest size, there's some restrictions on it. Well, A, it's low cost, so that's kind of a benefit on it. But B, you really don't have. There's no yard. This where I'm sitting at is not my property. The only part of my property is really what's underneath this overhang up to this wall. Actually, that's this wall right here. So it literally is like a shoebox. Looks like I'm living in New York City or in Chicago. Boom, 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 with no yard. You can only put, I'm going to actually help you see this, every kind of house. So you go from row lot, which is the bottom, then village, then town, then city, then keep, and castles up there. So there are limits on the kind of stuff. So row house. On the outside, you can put 5 objects. 5. There's not room to put anything. It sounds like such a small number, but there is no place. There's only that spot right in front of the house. So 5 isn't a bad thing. And you can put 1 light. Lights are costly in the game. Lights cause graphic performance. They've always had troubles with that. So there's always a limit on lights. So for a row house, you have 5 objects on the outside. So you can put a planter, maybe a vendor, or whatever else, a book, a weapons stand, whatever it is, and 1 light. Village houses definitely go up higher. Village houses, the next size up, which has a yard, so there's more space to put stuff, planters, whatnot. You can put 400 objects out there and 6 lights. So definitely a lot bigger, but there's a yard to put stuff in. Townhouses, like the one I have in Bay Lumiere, 700 objects outside and 8 lights. So I can put light posts and stuff. It's a big property, and that makes sense with it. City house, city, you can do 1,000 objects and 12 lights. If you get to keep 1,400 objects outside and 16 lights, and I think a castle says it's 2,000 objects and 20 lights. So basically, the size of the house, not only your living space, it also controls the amount of stuff you can put down. But for a row house, it sounds small, but it makes sense for it because there just isn't a yard. So let me get back out of the game here. So I've claimed this. So I've got my row deed here. Now I'm going to pay taxes. Now it says it's 500. It's 500 gold coin behind you. They do that just because people are gaming the system. You automatically kind of get charged a day when you put it down. So there are 2 ways to pay taxes. Actually, there's only one to pay taxes. You have to pay gold, 500 gold. So you can come in and say, pay my lot taxes, and you could sit there and pay money right out of your wallet. So if I wanted to pay this, I could pay 500 out of my wallet. It would go to here and do that. The other way you can do is you can add credits. You can take kodos, crowns of the obsidian, the big gold coins. Each one of those kodos is worth 3,500 in tax credits. So I actually imported, or I said added credit. I added 10 kodos into this tax property here, and it gave me my my 17.5 in tax credits here. Maybe 17,000. I had a little bit extra coin in there. So you can take kodos, add them as a credit. You can add credit into your property stuff and basically convert your kodo into it. Here's the deal about kodos. Kodos are the best bang for the buck. So on a vendor in Owl's Head, wherever else, you can buy kodos from around 2,100, maybe 22, maybe 2050, maybe 23. If you see something above 22 or 23, it just isn't worth it. But the fact that you can buy a kodo for, let's say, 2,200, and then convert it into credit of 3,500, it's saving you somewhere in the order of 1,200 coin. So it's 1,200 gold pieces you don't have to spend. So if you do have a taxed property and you have to pay taxes, buy Kodos with your gold. You'll buy a Kodo for 2,200. Then you can come in here and add that, take that Kodo and add it as a credit, and that 2,200 you spent becomes 3,500 in taxes. It's the best deal. Don't pay out of your wallet. It is not worth it. Go buy Kodos. So that's the big deal with the Kodos and all. So you have to pay taxes on it. So I've already added credit into mine. I'm not going to show it. I don't have any Kodos on me anyways, but I'm going to go ahead and pay my lot of taxes on this. So I can pay the number of days I want to pay. It's 500 each day. So I'm going to pay up to 30 days on this. And I told him I was going to leave a 30 day, basically a month on it paid up. So it's cost me 1,500 or 15,000 gold for 30 days. And there it is. Now I get a little bit of a bonus because when you do it, they give you a 15-day credit, or I think it's a 13-day credit, I think, on there. So basically I have 43 days until this one goes. In 39 days, this one's going to go. I'll have to refurnish it. And on the Bay Lumiere, I'll have to do this one. If you think about this, let's say with the townhome, it's 2,000 coin a day. So that's basically, if I think about that, 2.5 Kodos. If I take a Kodo, yeah, it's I don't say it's half a Kodo. I'm paying a pretty good hefty chunk on that. Let's see if I can put in a nice round number. So 2 Kodos is 7,000. So yeah, 2 Kodos will pay for me for 3.5 days. I'm sorry, for 2.5 days. Yeah, basically 2.5. So 2 Kodos is 35. Yeah, this math is killing me. 3 days. It's 2 Kodos, 3 days, or 3.5 days. So it definitely costs a lot more. 500 per day on the row home versus 2,000 per day on the townhome. If someone says, "Well, how about a village lot?" Village lot is 1,000. So here's your big marker. If someone owns a row house, there are tax-free deeds out there, but these aren't them. If they have a row house that they're paying tax on, they're paying 500 gold pieces per day. If they have a village home, they're paying 1,000 gold pieces per day, twice as much. If you have a townhome, you're paying 2,000, twice times 2 again. So it's expensive. It can get out there. So that means you need to be making money. So I know everybody's got this great thing. I want a village home. I like this big home, and they want to go out there and get it. You better be in a good position where you're making some money. That means you know how to go out and make a lot of gold out there, or you have a vendor, you have money coming in, you're doing something, generating it, as you'll be working hard to pay your taxes on there. Now, can you lose stuff? You'll never lose it. Not like in Ultima where your house can collapse and everything falls out and people just take your stuff. If for whatever reason you just didn't pay your taxes and finally went, let's say, foreclosed and it got disappeared, all this, including your deed, would go to the bank here. And you can go get them out of the bank. Eric, if I decided, piss on Eric, I'm taking my house deed back, I could go collect the deed. All the stuff would actually go to the bank here, and you would never lose it. So that's also kind of a nice thing on there. So yeah, so this is how we actually go in and we can pay money on it. And this is something I can see. I can pay taxes anywhere on this and whatnot. Now, if I've paid taxes on this, if I come in and do this again, get out of it. Why is this guard here? Go away, guard. He's being nosy. I'm going to unclaim it again, just to show you what happened. So my deed went back into my inventory. The house went back. The sign's got signage on it. It's available. There's the streamer. I'm going to claim it again. Ask me what deed. There's my one in my inventory. Claim it. So there it is. Now, here's the thing. Now, I keep doing this. I'm losing 500 coin every time doing this. I have 17,000 now instead of 17,500. But that's okay. So here it is. I still owe it on here. But all that stuff I had applied originally went back into my credit pool. I don't lose all that money. I put in whatever number of thousand on there. I didn't lose all that money. So let me go ahead and pay this again. I'm going to pay my lot taxes. I want to see one day. What does it give me? I've got 14 days remaining. All right, so that makes it better. So I want to go 14 plus. I want to add 16 more days. Give a full month on that. I'll give 17. So there it is, 31 days. So I paid up the taxes on there, so that's there. This thing's good for 31 days. So then that means if Eric wants to live here, I've made a deal saying, hey, just pay the taxes. Pay it in kodos. So give me kodos and I'll feed it in. One kodo basically here, 3,500 divided by 507. One kodo equals 1 week of living. So if he makes up money, goes out and buys kodos, gives me 4 kodos, it's basically a month. So basically he wants to live here for free. Not for free. Free, I'm not charging for the deed or extra money. I'm just kind of being the middleman on this. It's just 1 kodo per week. That's what it takes to live here. So that's all about that. But this is stuff that me as the owner can do. He wouldn't be able to as the co-owner on it. But let's go inside. So I'm gonna, right now you said we got just this. I'm probably gonna replace the house on it for him. So it's a row home, one of the 3 or 4 story one with the gardening thing on top, so he can do some growing on there. So I'm going to replace that. So that's one thing that's going to happen. This house is going to change, and so he'll have more living space on it. Right now, just as this, it's got like one little hidden room here. Let's get my... It's completely empty. It's got one little room down here, a fireplace. It's got this stairs that are kind of wonky now. They busted them. And one level up here in a room up here. That's all that's in here. So we're going to get him a 4-story row house, with the greenhouse on top. So there'll be multiple floors, and he can go and grow things as well. The other thing I've got in another one is, so this is, basically he can do what he wants in here. If you want to take something, and Eric, pay attention here, at some point you're going to want to put some containers. You want to get like chests, and you want to be able to store stuff. I don't have a chest on me, so I'm going to put my bag down here, which is completely paceable. Oops. Oh, I can't put a... Actually, I can put this one, I think. Yeah, here's a thing with a bunch of my stuff here. So I'll put my loot bag down here. There it is. That's a container. So, if I want to double click it, it's there. If I want to move it around, you can take it and drag it and move it around. Nothing wrong with it. So let's say I wanted to, like it was a chest, and I wanted to rotate it around. I could actually hold it with my mouse, and if you hit the E key, it'll rotate it. Just like that. You see it's rotated. You can orient it whichever way. Now here's a key one. If you want to rotate it in increments of 45 degrees, hold down the control key, and you can do that. Here's one way. I'll hit that twice. Here's the other way. Oops, twice more. And then back to straight. So E is free rotate, moves it very in small increments. Control E will do it in 45 degree increments. I know there's a key to rotate the other way. I've never done that. I just rotate one way. I'll get around. I'm like a clock. The other thing is there's certain things that you can stand upright. Do I have a weapon? I think I do. Here's my copper sword. I'm going to put that on the ground. Swords and certain other items like books and stuff, if I just put it down, it lays flat. If you hit the R key, it will actually stand it up on its end. So books, you can either stand upright or lay flat. Weapons or things you're decorating can be done with that. So the R key, if you're holding it, hitting the R key, and you notice how the hilt's at the bottom, flat, standing up, how the hilt's at the top. So you can place things. So the E key is for rotating, Control E is for rotating in 45 degree increments. The R key is for actually things that can stand upright. So you can do that. So I'll put that back into my... Now, here's the other thing about permissions. Let me close this door. I don't get my character. So, if I look at this chest, if I right click on it, lots of interesting permissions. So make sure you gotta understand the permissions on this. Item permission, the first set. The item permission basically says, can someone take this? The object itself, so like the backpack, can I take it and go with it? At what level does someone have to interact with it? Right now my stuff is set down to default. Co-owners can do this. So a co-owner or the owner can take this, put it in their backpack and walk away with it. That's what item permission does. I can take the object. If you are, like, you had a couple of different co-owners or a couple of different, lower level people, kindred or whatever else, they can make something private so only the owners and that person could view it not other people at that lower level. But this is just your place. You're not really going to have to worry about making things private. You can't make things private for me anyways. I'm the owner on it. Anyways, so you can change permission on who people that can remove or modify the contents. So let's say I want to make a chest for my guild, and I said I want to make my chest, and I want to be able to people like a sharing chest. People can put things in and take things out. I can set be able to remove or modify the contents to certain levels. Co-owner being the highest one, trustee below it, kindred below that. I can also control who can just add stuff. So maybe it's a giving box. Guys, make donations here, but I don't want them to be able to take stuff out. That's my thing. They're donations to me, and it's for me, and people come and put it in there. So I can set I can give public, anyone, access to put stuff in. It just doesn't, they can't take things out. And if you are living there, like let's say for some reason, Eric, if you say you put something in your chest, you're missing it, go, man, who did this? What happened? You can look at the view log, and the log will tell you who's interacted with it. Right now it's just me and you, so you would actually see if I did something that did I go ahead and do this. So right-clicking on containers, you can set that permission. The other thing you can do is this. Permission options. Permission options are your default permissions. So why was this chest set to co-owner here, co-owner here, co-owner here? Because I've set my default permissions to be that. So when moving or placing items, make items not private, make the remove or modify item co-owner, add item co-owner, container modify remove co-owner, player vending listings if you have vendors. That applies to the specifically for vendors. So these are my default permissions. Why? Because I have two other properties that I share that other people do have access to. So the vendor house, people in my guild have access to that, and even in my townhome, I have people that can come in. I make certain things item. I don't want to make something accidentally available to everybody else. So by default, the only co-owners in my house, my personal house that I live in, is me and my daughter. She's a co-owner, I'm the owner. So that makes things that only her and I can do things. So if I want to do something for the guild, I explicitly have to give them permissions, as opposed to always giving them permission and remembering to tighten it down, the security, which you'll probably forget, and then who knows, something could just walk off. I'm not saying my guild people would steal that. It's just a smart thing to do. Some of this stuff is valuable. Valuable in the game. I have tons of stuff in my house that are part of my reward package as a Kickstarter backer on this. So there's things that they're mine. I don't want them to ever be gone. And also, if you have people who are interacting with you in your house, you also want to make it so there's never, even by a mistake, to create a weird situation. So in your lot item permissions, so if you right click in your permission option, these are your defaults. So Eric, generally I'd say put things to your co-owner or to whatever that. I'd set those to co-owner as well, as you are one of them, and just leave your things like that. So yeah, that's how you interact with containers. So what can you do in your house? What else? So you can put containers down. If you go out and get a bookshelf, you go out and you've stolen a bunch of books, you can put bookshelves on there. You can put lamps or chairs or furniture if you want to craft it. I would actually give you some crafting stations for this as well, typically, just because it's easier to do. You don't have to do this because right around the corner is a public vendor, is a crafting area. But that's going to get tiresome because you're going to have chests of all your materials like somewhere. You want to be able to craft with your materials close by. So one of the things that I don't have a way to show this one right now, one of the things that we are going to do is I'm going to put a hatch. And the housing is actually three parts. Think about this. There's your deed. Your deed is what claimed the land. There is the house. In a row, you get, by default, you get this kind of 1-2-story thing, but you can get other shapes and structures. So your house deed determines what the house is on there. A row house gets a free one. That's kind of the nice thing about it. You don't have to pay for a house if you didn't want to. But we're going to replace this one with a 4-story greenery. So you got your deed for the property, you got your deed for the house, and then there's a deed for the basement. So you can add a basement in here. It sounds weird at the basement there, but it is a great use of space, especially in a row house. You can get a 1-story, 2-story, I think 4 or 5-story basement. It's a basement that goes down below, tons of extra space. crafting tables, other rooms, storage, this and that. So if you look at this right now here, you can put some crafting tables in here, just be on multiple floors, and it's going to be a little bit tight. A little bit more room on if you have it with the basement, more places to put it. I have some people that put their crafting and stuff in here, and they live down in the basement, or people that live here and then go down and be in the basement. I have people that have properties, not on a row house because it has to have a house on it, but on a village size lot or higher, that have nothing but planters on the root on the ground, and then they have a complete underground structure for where they're at. If you've seen it in my other videos when I'm down in my basement, I have a big stone arena basement. It's wide open. All my crafting stuff's there. I spend most of my time down there. I grow things on the main floor. I go down and I craft away and do busy work down in the basement. And the living areas that have like couches and beds and all that, they're purely decorations. I rarely go in there. It's just the way it works out. But we'll put a hatch. It'll be like a little square thing, and just like when you come into a town, you have to zone into your basement or scene load into it. So your basement is a different area, if you want to think of it that way. But it adds. If you know, I think I have a 2-story basement I have sitting as well. So that one's kind of free. So we'll put that on here. So I have a 4-story with a greenhouse on the top story house, and then I have a 2-story basement. You'll be able to go in your basement, and just like the house, it has the same permissions. We can, the same thing. So you can put, if you want to get crafting tables, you can put them down there. Let's say you are actually wanting to craft. I believe that, I don't know if you can buy them from here. I think we need a housing decoration merchant. There's one in my other town. You can buy crafting stations, just plain old regular. Oh, look at this graphic. That guy there's a guy right there. Now, he was in the wall. How weird. I double clicked and he came out of the wall. I don't think there's a home decoration merchant here. I think there is one. It's got housing deco. So here's a hatch. We could buy a hatch for it. And here's the basement. Let's see the row house. So here's a 3-story wooden plaster row home. We could buy this and replace that one on it. Village. This is a 2-story row home, which it already has on there, which makes it kind of ridiculous. Here's a shingled roof home, row home. Look at anything that has row home. Here's a shingle roof 3-story row home. Row, stone and timber. This is wooden stone basement. 1 level is 1,000. What else is there? Any other ones? No, that's all they got. So I've got a 2-story basement in there that we'll be able to put in there. But this one just has houses. This is not the vendor I wanted. This is a housing deeds merchant. I need a housing decoration merchant. But you buy crafting stations. So if you wanted, let's say you were going nuts and you're a cooking machine, you could buy one of these cooking stations and put it in your basement. It's 5,000 coin. So if you think about it, there are 10 crafting stations at 5,000. It's 50,000 gold if you want to do them all. If you want to do that, that's fine. Or, it's kind of like I could run through here, grab my mats, run through here, and here's my house. I could use that public one. Across the alley is free. In the house is 5,000 a pop on there. What else can you put in there? Planters, plant stuff. Yeah, basically anything. You can start, don't have to go nuts, and don't figure out like, how am I gonna decorate this entire thing? Where am I gonna get wall torches? I want more light. And, those are things that you can buy in game. You also, if you know people, Eric, you would know me. You can ask, hey, where do I get this, or how can I get this? Most of the stuff I can craft, or someone else. If you have a friend who can craft it, you can get it on the cheap. If not, if you go out and buy it, it's gonna set you back. Don't feel like you have to decorate and do everything in a house. Pick an area. Maybe just pick this room here, and you say, this is going to be my food cooking kitchen room. So I'm going to put a butchery station. I'm going to put a cooking station here. It's 10,000 right there. And I'll put some shelves, some sacks of flowers and stuff like that, and just make it my kitchen area. I'll put a little table, a chair, decorate it, put a picture on the wall, call it done. It's a house. Just do what you want. Don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Just make it yours. Most of the time, the decoration that you do in a house is basically, for the most part, it's to make you like it and kind of enjoy it. You gotta come home and do that. Let me, I think it would be easier if I'm gonna zap on home. I'm gonna come out of Aldwater here. So Aldwater, once again, Arterist, just beside it, just to the west of it. It's a good little town. I mean, it's close to Soul Town, all the stuff where Eric's hanging out at. So I'm gonna go back to my town home and just kind of show it, just on a bigger scale. Sorry, it's on a bigger scale. It's just the way it is. Let's see how long this scene load. These have been going for a bit. Come on, 51%. And I also can talk to at my house the decoration. I'm gonna back myself out of here. Alright, so this is a town-sized lot. As you can tell, it is much bigger. This town-sized 2-story stone keep, those rows of bushes, the rose bushes, that pretty much is the property line. So the downside of this, I have a big lot. It's a town-sized lot. The downside of the 2-story keep is that it's the full thing. I have no room on the outside besides road bushes. But this lamppost here, those rose bushes, these banners, those lights on the wall, my founder's plaque that we get as part of our Kickstarter, the training dummy, these cotton bushes, this is all stuff that I've put down, including all the way back here, all these planters. So these are decorations. This is just how I chose to do it. They introduced the rose bushes. I thought they were actually pretty cool, so I put them out there. This is the back side. There's a door back there. But basically where the house is at, these rose bushes, that's actually the property line. So I'm not on my property. I'm on my property. I am. So I put all these. So I mean, this is what I mean by having more decorations on the outside. Now another part of the outside is actually the inner part. See these, what are these? Useless hammers? Rusty 2 hammers. Since I made weapons deco items, I took some of these ones I was getting on the cheap when I killed monsters, and I stuck them up here. I don't know, I just kind of liked it. Inside, the thing about a keep is it's like a castle. It's got the inner courtyard. So it's not a living area, but it's a place that I actually go put stuff. So I basically put all of my growing stuff in here. So I've got all my, these are coconut trees that I need to water. I've got a wishing well where I can get water, and also so I can get good luck items. You tell I'm growing coconut here. The other stuff I've grown and picked. I've actually was able to fit in a rusted greenhouse. Rusted greenhouse is actually another structure. It's like, so I put a structure inside a structure. Rusted greenhouse basically grows things, a greenhouse will grow things at 2 times the speed of something outside. So if a cotton bush takes 2 days to grow outside, it'll take 1 day to grow on the inside of there. So I've used this structure so I could grow a lot. It's all inside my little walls in here. I just kind of liked it, liked the way it looked, and sorry, get close up with my butt. I just liked the way it looked. I put these stone pavers down. I put those planting beds down and whatnot. So Eric, inside of a, if you think about a at the 4-story row house with the top floor you can grow, you'll be able to put these type of planters. These large planting beds or small. This is a large one. It's two rows by. I'll do it this way. It's 2 by 10. A medium one is 2 by 5, so it's half the size, and a small planting bed is 2 by 2. So these are kind of the planting beds. And that's the large, that's the medium, this is the small, and then these are individual planters. So I couldn't fit another planter here, so I put these bulk barrels, half barrels there. If you look inside my row house, I basically have 3 full ones. So that's 60. There's 60 spots on here. This is another 5 plus, 10 plus that. That's 14. Is that 10? Yeah, 10, 14 plus 10 more on the outside. That's 24. So I have 84 spots total in here to grow. I could put 1 more here and make it 85 if I wanted to. I just want to be able to walk out there. So I could plant 85 different types of plants. Coconuts, lemons, cotton, garlic, mandrake. You know, anything that's growable. Onions, potatoes, carrots. Done those as well. I did green peppers the other day. crafting recipes or magic reagents and whatnot. So yeah, so I don't have any room on the outside, but I have all the room on the inside. So it's a kind of weird structure in that sense. But then when you come in, this is the back door to go out. This is that hatch. This is what the hatch looks like that will take me down to the basement. But I've got it decorated. I got paintings on the wall. I've got some of my new telethon giveaways here in my weapon rack. A barrel with some roses on it and some fiery braziers. I've got some furniture here. In here I've got more armor and stuff that's on there. There's one of the new backpacks. Cabinets, a display cabinet. There's my duck, my catapult, my snowball boxes. I got frozen bagpipes on the top there. There's my thorned bow. I got a little sitting area. This is kind of like my little musical area. I've got my Dark Star metronome. I've got my benefactor piano. And I got that. I've got my Aether devices. This is a portable one, kind of like a desktop one. This is a full standing console. This is also another one. This is a phonograph. You can play the wax cylinders. Pictures on the wall. I can sit down. That's a little cabinet I can open up. This itself, I put a rug in here, put some furniture, some trophies on the wall, light up there. We got a fireplace. I got my artisan box where I can get a free trinket out of there every time. I've got someone's jaw here. That's actually my jawbone. I died at one point. Another tabletop catapult, some roses. I decided to make this a bedroom. I got a bed and a desk with some Kodos on it, a book, one of the new lamps. I've got some of my original founder stuff, a Tinkerer's certificate, my Doomsday certificate, another painting. I've got a dresser. This is one of the places I actually do use because this dresser has different outfits and stuff that I have. My ballet stuff, autumn stuff. So basically my clothes. I have lots of different clothes, and as you can tell, I'm in a different outfit today. My butterflies and stuff. So this is where I keep all my dress-up stuff. It sounds very girly, but this is Elena's wardrobe. My desk has some more important stuff. I put things in there like keys. I've got a Lord Founder townhome, big honky townhome that can fit on the slot. My road deed was sitting in here. So yeah, so this is, how did I pick this? It's just my choice of what to do. I could take a ladder up. There's it upstairs. And a little entryway. I can look out the front. I could even go up top higher. There's a hatch that let me out here. Here's a camera I put out here. I can take a picture. Think down there, I got a hot tub down there. Over in that turret on top, I've got the Dark Star, the moon dial thing, so I can look at the planetary stuff, the alignments. I've got a couple of bone thrones. Yeah, if I want to get down, I don't have to go through all the stuff. I'm just going to hop down here. I had my practice dummy up here. I want to get back here. I can go jump on this. So I like the fact that I can just run and jump and get around my house if I want to once I'm up top. But I don't do too much here. I rarely go up top here. I'm mostly here or I'm down in my basement. So my thing is, start small, pick an area. If you want something to do, you want to, typically most people work on crafting. Pick a station you want. You need to go pick one up. You can put it in there. Let's enter the basement. I can show you what the basement looks like and just kind of where. So this is probably where I spend 80% of my time. So 20% of my time gardening up top, 80% of my time is in the basement. I've got a banking device on my first floor so I can hit my bank there. I've got a banking device down here. I got a little chair, a little entry area here. I'm building up a little kind of sitting room in here. I got a full bookcase. That takes a long time to do, by the way. That's putting each book in. You have to put every book in. You have to steal those or get those from somewhere, then put them all in. I got a desk. This is a Marquis Dragon mask, like this. If you watch Marquis Dragon, on his stream when he's doing Shroud of the Avatar, one of the giveaways he does is the Marquis Dragon mask. This was actually made for him in his store. Marquis Dragon has had a red dragon since the Ultima days. It does know Richard Garrett and the folks. They actually took the regular dragon mask and made a red version of it that only he has. and he can gift out to people. So he does giveaways on those. So people watching the stream, at the end there's a raffle and people can win those. And this is the only place, he's the only place you can get those in the game. Put it that way. So there's my, otherwise you see the regular brown mask. And we can actually see that, so I want to put this as a deco right now. It is decorable, but they haven't done it right yet. Notice that it's brown. So it's picking up the image of the regular standard brown dragon mask that you can buy on the add-on store or whatnot. Someone in the guild, I think someone who won one, just sold one of these. Sold it for over 300,000 gold. So that's one of the things I wouldn't want to lose. So I have it out there. So quite proud of it. I was on his last show, I was the last person to win one of these. I actually won on his last show. I actually won this one. Which is probably good. I had mine originally. I actually won. I was like the third person to ever win one, and I gifted mine to someone else I thought deserved it. And I've been trying to get it. You know, I figured I'd win it again at some point, and I was actually able to win it. But yeah, there's only a select group of people that actually have these masks that are in there. Most of them are probably, you know, are probably lunar dragons themselves. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm right now using it. I don't wear it out too much, but hopefully it turns red. It's my little deco, my little, I've made this like little chesty, I don't know, relaxing room. Do I actually use it? No, not really. But it just looks cool. So I'll get some paintings or get some more trophy stuff on here. These are all decoration stuff I have. I'm starting to lay out this top area. I'm going to put dividers to block off this area. I've got one of the Knights benefactor tables. They're expensive. Some bigger, nicer porches up here. Just kind of a nice area. Some couches. I'm going to set up a little bar here. But I really haven't focused too much on here. But just starting to do that. Down here is where we've got my crafting area. So these are all those tables, all lined up. All their crafting boxes associated. This is I put my cooking and butchery stuff in here, like I talked about at the Roja. So these are all just. Why did I do it this way? It just works for me. This is my alchemy and printing press room, and it looks all kind of cool and designed. It didn't have room to put these things out there, and I needed to use these rooms for something. So there it is. Got some shelves. These are all those extra maps I get. You find those. You're finding extra ones. They look great as decos on here. You pick up books, make them a deco. These things are always free down in the basement. Here's a rose I dropped down. You find all those candles down in the dungeons. Drop it out. Got a rug. I don't know what I'm going to do with this area, but we'll figure it out. I just kind of separate it off. Here's one of those remote banking devices. So, anyways, the big thing about these, all the stuff you can put in the house, it's all about putting it down, moving it around. If it's not going to fit right, it's going to look red. If it's going to fit right, it's going to be green. So just remember that. That's the only thing you have to do. If you want to rotate something, Control E for 45-degree increments. I'll put this so it goes back. Once again, like I was showing with the sword, let's take this book here. Here's a book. I'll put it up here. And if I hit the R key, wait, does that one not? May not be a book that stands. That one doesn't stand upright. This one should. Standing up. Oops. Hit the R key. Standing down. If it doesn't stand up on its end, well, that's because it's something that just doesn't rotate correctly. So let me get this back to where I had it. There we go. So that's it. That's the general stuff. Wall torches. I forget about those. There are limits on the number of lighting you have inside. The house has limits. The basement is completely different. It's a whole new set of limits. So if I only can have one pet upstairs, downstairs in the basement is something else. So it separates those limits. They are two different things. So remember that. So having more stuff downstairs lowers your limit, your item limit needs on your upstairs as well. Torches are great. Wall torches are the best bang for the buck. Brightest, lowest cost. If you need to get those in some of this, we will. I will get those for you. I will get those. I can make those easily. So that's it. So here's some of the stuff like these flowers and sacks of sugars. They look great. Go buy them for cheap at the vendor and put them out as deco. Here's some. I stole some meat off the meat person in Artemis on that bridge. I've had it stuck away in my things, so I laid them out here. Here's some fish. Here's some ribs. Here's I think salami or something. Yeah. Here's a steak. What's this one up here? There's another steak, spice jars, all those things you kind of see hanging around. Sometimes in town you will lose virtue points, or outside you can just put it out there. Take it and make it a deco. I can make some rugs for cheap. Yeah. So that's it. That's the base on the house. I just want to kind of go through kind of a very fast, furious pace, but just talk about it. I think the big thing to understand is owning a house is a cool thing. Allows you to do stuff. Allows you to grow your own stuff. If you have planters and whatnot. There is a cost associated with it. So before you go out and say, I'm going to get a town deed or village deed, remember that there's a cost on the taxes if it's not tax-free. You can buy a tax-free deed. You can actually you're hard to find them in game. You probably can buy them on the forums, on the Shroud of the Avatar forums, the player marketplace. You're going to pay some money for them. Just to guesstimate, a village deed, a place anywhere village deed that you have to pay taxes on is around $300 US dollars. A tax-free place anywhere village deed is probably around $700. I mean, it's real money out there to get this. So your chance, if you don't have a deed or not one of the backers, your chance of getting one without buying it and spending a lot of money is pretty slim to none. So you're going to have to face taxes. So ask yourself, how much money can you generate? Can you generate enough to cover $500 a day if you're not doing Kodos? If you can, so good. Then a roll-out's for you. Can you generate enough to do more $1,000 a day? Well, then you could go for a village. Once you start getting into town, I mean, this is a big area. It is very big. For one person, yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's absolutely big and grandiose and all that. But not really too much practical. I really like the idea of the village. The village is kind of the sweet spot. You can do some outside stuff. You can get big basements. You can, pretty big size homes on it. It's a sweet spot for it. So I really like those at 1,000 gold a day. But anyway, back on you for Eric. So you've got a role place you can go in and do some stuff on. I think that's a great thing. A free, besides your taxes, you can go and basically check it out, learn the mechanics of housings, and go through it without fear of doing anything. Some of you may comment, well, couldn't I go into the house and take his stuff? You're absolutely right, I can. I've been talking and playing with Eric since he came on here, and I said we're not like buddies, but I think he's found out that I've been a pretty respectable person and a well-known person in the community with the sites, these videos and whatnot on streams and whatnot. So I'm just doing a nice thing. Would I say to other players to trust other people? It really comes down to the person. If you really know them, sure. And if you don't, be careful with it. This is a very odd situation because, well, A, we've been talking to each other, but B, we're both streamers and have a presence or a face in the community as well. I think, if I did something wrong to make myself be like a crook and took all this stuff, then, there'll be negative impact just on myself in here. So that's why this kind of works. I'm hoping once the rental systems come in June, end of June, then we can come out with different arrangements. Like my place at Owl's Head, I could rent out individual rooms and all that. Right now, it's just a friendly gesture, and so is this video on that. So I figured I'd share this out not only for him, but for you guys as well. So that's it. If you got comments or questions, I know I breezed through a lot of it. Put them on there, and if you want me to add something specifically, I will go ahead and add it on to. I'll add either a specific video to it or address it in the comments on there. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Don't forget there is actually a little button in the bottom right corner that is about the little YouTube icon. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. That's it. If said thumbs up, thumbs down. Once again, this is Elena Strombo from SodaTutorials.com. Take care. Have a good one.